Hi, my name's Justin, and I sing and play guitar in Broken Love. I want to say that like the writing for it probably started, I mean, if not consciously, I would say like when I was like 15, 16 is when I guess I started putting together ideas for what would become this project. So I guess it's like, you know, it's been a couple years in the making, I would say. But I didn't sort of like, it wasn't like sort of like seen through until I was like 19, 20, you know, and I'm 22 now. Just a little tidbit. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's amazing, you know, because I've been sitting on this album for a while, just trying to find a home with for it, and you know, it's really weird playing the song. Well, we've been playing these songs live for like 2 years now, and now it's finally out, and people have been expecting it, which was really, really surprising to me. I didn't know anybody actually wanted to hear my band or like cared anything about it. You know, I know that they know the song "Shot Down" because that's like the only one that went to radio and seems to be like our signature song, I guess, right now, but. It's really cool seeing the response we've gotten from a lot of people, and I'm just super stoked about it. That was nuts, actually. So we got played in America before Canada, and when we started getting played in America, my band doesn't listen to FM radio like on tour. We were on tour when it happened, so we never got a chance, or I never even tried to like start listening to it. But they added it to a station in Toronto, 94.9, and I listen to that station like every day. So I remember my parents calling me when they started hearing it on the radio, and then of course like when I finally got back from tour, like I don't know, 2 months later or whatever. The first time I heard it, I was like driving down Bayview. I don't know if it's like if anybody knows Toronto terminology, but I was driving down Bayview. I was at Bayview and Shepherd, and so I'll never forget the moment. And I was leaving like the little Bayview Village like mall there. And I was talking to my friend, and like halfway through our conversation, I just heard like the guitar slide and a shot down, and I just like froze, you know? Like I totally like, my face went blank, and like I kind of like started tearing up a little bit because I mean it's a station I've been listening to for so long, so it was even more significant, you know, that it was something that I've always listened to, and now I'm on that station. Let alone there was like a radio tag after. It was like, "This is Justin for Broken Love." I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's so fucking cool," you know? He was great. He was a dream come true. You know, at this point, I've worked with a couple producers, and you know, sort of got my foot in a couple doors, I would say. But he was really, really detrimental to this process, and just the way he approached things. You know, he's more about like you know, realness and like organic stuff, and like that's what I like too. And it's hard to find people that want to make rock records that way now, because everything has sort of become very overproduced and very slick. And we just didn't want that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just wanted to come at it with a more organic vibe. And he just took my words and actually put them into action. It's like a lot of people can say they can do that, and I get, you know, I've had tons of people promise me, yeah, we can make your fuzz guitar sound great, and then, you know, down the line it doesn't work out. He actually did exactly what he said he could do, and it was just a pleasure working with him. He really got out of our way and sort of like brought the best out of us as musicians. And he actually like he insisted that we use tape in the process too, which was really, really cool. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, I would never like, you know, I mean, of course, like every kid or dreams about recording a record to tape. I mean, maybe not every kid, but like if you like old school music, it's a really cool vibe. And I didn't know, I would never come in and be like, hey, by the way, I demand this be on tape. But it was actually his idea, and it brought the best out of us because you know you only get one take, you know, so we were forced to play to the best of our abilities, and I thank him for that. It was awesome.
So tell me about the name Broken Love.
So without giving too much away, I can't tell you the origin of it, unfortunately. I like to keep that a little bit secret, but I mean, it just sort of represents like who I am as a person. It represents the sound of the music. It represents the vibe of the record, I think. You know, it's a lot of love and loss and a lot of broken relationships, whether it's with somebody else or yourself, you know. So Broken Love just sort of encompasses everything that I sort of stand for and everything about the music, I think, aesthetically and sonically. I've never really been a drug guy. Like I say that openly. I never had any problems, thankfully. But the song was aimed at a lot of my friends who had been prescribed drugs in university, and how these doctors were just sort of handing out these things like candy to kids because they were told they needed them to do a good job, you know? So, of course, when, you know, they tell you can't focus and you need a pill to sort of, you know, fix you. I mean, some people actually do, but not everybody does. And it got to the point where, like, they would all know the doctor that had, like, the hookup. And it's like the doctor now becomes the drug dealer, but it's legal, you know? And I saw some of my friends get really, really fucked up, you know, like lose weight, stop eating, stop sleeping, eventually like move on to some more powerful substances. And my actual like relationship with I guess I'm directly talking about like prescription amphetamines. I used to live with a dude in LA, and he would give me some sometimes just to go out and like drink, you know. And I remember a couple times I get home, I'd be like, wait, they give this shit to like students? I'm like, this is fucking speed, you know? Like, what the hell's going on? I'm running around like a maniac, like talking to everybody, and I can't sleep, you know? And I'm like up, and I feel like shit the next day. I'm like, there's no way this is right, you know? This is definitely not good. And then when I came back and finally got, you know, back together with my friends I hadn't seen in a while, I was like, holy shit, you guys look like shit, you know? So that's sort of what the song is about in a nutshell, I would say. And Eric Richter did it, and he's a badass. He killed it. And we were finishing a tour with Through Fire and Saul and another band called Dead Posey, and the last show was in like Waterloo, Iowa, and Chicago was on the way back to New York City because the rest of my guys are from New York City, so I had to drive them back. It just made sense to stop off there instead of like flying everybody out and like just making a whole thing out of it. We just did it at the end of our tour. So like that was like, honestly, shooting that video was like one of the most hungover like days I've ever had. You know, like I was like already super tired, and we slept like 3 hours that night and just trucked it. But yeah, that's where the director was located. You know, when I was younger, a lot of people told me that if you want to make it in music and you want to make it sort of internationally, you want to get out of Canada. So I just kind of got that in my brain when I was like 13, 14, because I've been doing this for about 10 years now. And I just started doing everything in the States. I mean, I started meeting people in the States and just traveling out there all the time. And, you know, I eventually relocated to New York, and I lived in LA for a little bit, and not for any specific reason. It's not because I hate it here at all. I mean, now, no, I don't. I have a visa, but, you know, as I grow up, it's like the more I realize, I'm like, oh man, Canada's a lot better, you know? And I think a lot of people would agree with that, just being, you know, mature now and just being able to like understand what happens in the world, you know? Not ragging on America at all, but it's just like, it's nice to be Canadian. And, but just when I was younger, it was just I was told that if you want to be huge, like across the world, you got to make it in America. Right now, I like Rainwolf a lot. I like Highly Suspect, Nothing But Thieves. I really like Wolfmother. I mean, you know, I'm trying to think of some more current ones that I'm bopping. I like this band Dead Poet Society. They're really, really cool. And our buddies Cleopatra, Dinosaur Pileup. Those are a couple, just off the top of my head. I like this place a lot. I've been here so many times. We're in Lee's Palace, by the way. And I've seen like a million shows here. And there's like a club upstairs called Dance Cave that I used to go to all the time before it got like super cool. And I love it here. I never played here, so this is pretty cool for me. I really like the Bovine Sex Club. That's a wicked place. I played there like a dozen times. I like the Phoenix too. If we're talking about like venues, you know, I like those spots. But I guess if I'm like going out like to like drink and stuff, honestly, I usually just go to the Bovine. That's like the place I like to go because they have a last call at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So that's generally where I go. I like Sneaky D's a lot too. Yeah, music's great. I go to Sneaky D's, and Hideout's like right next to it, I think, and that's cool, you know. Keep on rocking, you know. Just have fun. That's my message to the people. Always be you, you know. Stay true. I'm a jackass. Yeah, thanks, man. Looking forward to it.